All right, welcome in everybody. We have another rando race going on tonight for the Blackout TE tourney. I am A-Press. I'm going to be one of your commentators tonight.
Yep, I'm Hamathity, another commentator.
Yeah, we should be pretty much ready to go here. Gonna get the runners counted down in just a second. And there we go. The runners should be up and moving pretty soon on our screen. And we see through their pause screen a little bit, a pretty classic Crossroads Green Path start. I feel like we've gotten a lot of these so far in the tournament.
Yeah, not too many choices for the start options.
Mm-hmm.
And Scatter Nest is meant to try to not give close starts together. So you'll tend to sort of see these kinds of combinations.
Yeah, right away we're seeing very similar things from both teams. Jen and Klapudo, who started in Green Path, killing that first Moss Knight, going to be making their way over to the Stag. Lim and Sev checking Salubra Shop, now going to come over and fight Grozmother. And I already missed if there was anything important in Salubra.
Yeah, I wasn't looking either, so we'll have to rely on chat maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or just find out if they go back.
Yeah. And already finding a dreamer at Grozmother.
Yes, and on the Crossroads side too, so yep, we'll get quite a bit of infected Crossroads this time around.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but I guess as long as it happens to both teams, it evens things out a little bit.
Yeah, kind of be interesting to see if we see them put off False Knight as a result.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite so valuable when you can get to Mound from the other side.
Right.
Can be tempting to do dangerous things there.
I'm a little surprised to see, or I guess, I don't know, it's not too surprised, but it's a little concerning sometimes to see they both skipping over the shop soul totem in Crossroads. Hopefully that's not going to be anything too important because I think that's such an easy one to forget if you don't do it like right when you're
Right.
first going through there.
Yeah, very easy to forget and also difficult to get to when you can't
Mm-hmm.
just drop down from Crossroads bench. At least I would be more likely to think of going to it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also going to be an early Isma's pickup in Green Path outside the Stag there.
Yeah, that opens up some interesting routing options. Yeah, the person in Crossroads can go to Fungal now.
Mm-hmm.
The person in Green Path still can't.
Yeah, so we do see that kind of like route split in the two doing Crossroads. Lim not doing False Knight right away, instead gonna go up and probably do Dirtmouth first. Seb just going straight for it.
Yeah, so yeah, right away getting that divergence. And some divergence in Green Path too.
Mm-hmm.
Lower Green Path on one side, Hornet fight on the other. Yeah, I guess it is kind of practical to go ahead and do Hornet once you have Isma, since that's halfway to Shape of Un.
Yeah, which has been such an important check throughout this tournament so far.
Yeah, but throughout Rando history, Shape of Un has always been one of those.
Yeah, we are gonna see Klapudo is gonna go and get this bench here at Lake of Un.
Yeah, is worth noting, not really too many early bingo goals for them to go out of their way for. I'm sure we'll see visit all four shops pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe oh, we didn't actually see Gil and Aluba. Not too easy to do with their equipment, I guess, but
Yeah.
that's another reason to go over to the Lake of Un area.
And you're gonna
Yeah.
see Pink Team being rewarded going up to Dirtmouth early. They're gonna find a Mantis
Yes.
Claw at Aselda, and there's a VS at
Yes, and
Sly
Dash. And Dash at Sly.
and Dash. Wow.
So, yes, very good chops.
It's almost unfortunate. Like you buy Claw right away in Zelda, and then maybe even feel like you shouldn't have bought it when you see Dash in Sly right next to it.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting to think about. Of course, the claw is still useful for, yeah, you can go to Mound maybe and check Soul
Hmm.
Catcher that way, even though you couldn't buy the BS. So, it's definitely not a bad choice. Okay, Monarch Wings at 9 grubs.
Okay, so just all the movement's gonna be here in Crossroads.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that, yeah, I was just trying to think of if we even need CH for anything necessarily. Um, very possible,
Yeah.
but and of course there's tons of random goals in the card, so they're not done with checks yet, but this is going to be a very comfortable start.
Yeah, nice for Pink Team. I've seen Lim, I think, a little bit more than Sev has been going out of her way to save grubs. It's gonna help out a little bit with getting to wings. Yeah, I guess in some ways this early infection is almost like helping Lim now to
Twin now.
grind some extra geo from the infected Vengeflies. They drop a pretty good amount.
Twin is really interesting since it opens up resting grounds to the player with Crossroads or West Blue Lake start. So we'll see who is the first to remember that and go out of their way for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do see just a journal at Go Mask Shard after all that time.
And finally, we're gonna see Jen still hanging out in Green Path, finishing up some stuff there. Klapudo has made his way down into Fog Canyon a bit.
Yeah, I think this is our first look at Fog Canyon. So
Oh, it looks like Jen just picked up, I think it was Lurian at Green Path Vessel Fragment.
putting us at 2 Dreamers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not even out of their starting areas yet, and already know where most of the movement is and have 2 Dreamers.
Yeah, very, very, very quickly moving start here. It's going to be really interesting to see where they choose to prioritize once they have finished sort of cleaning up the early areas here. Still no dive, which is actually a big deal with... yeah, my eyes keep jumping to that 7 grubs and Crystal Peak goal because yeah, that's one of those things which is sort of like if you're deciding where to spend your time in the mid game, it's like go to Crystal Peak. But
Yeah, a
they
lot of
still can't.
checks and
Yeah, still can't do that, I believe.
right, yeah, they don't have any way to get into there yet. We
Yeah,
see
so
Jen trying to get this Aluba, but the pretty difficult when you don't have VS actually to get far enough to reach it.
It is, yeah. And yeah, I love this this wall jump strat to do it. It really is the easiest way.
Hmm.
And yeah, so we'll get this shape of uncheck, which is yeah, such a long check to go out of your way for, but has a real history of being favored by the randomizer, one of those few checks which is purely unlocked by Isma. Um, so we'll have to see here.
Yeah, with an early Isma, it's definitely one that I think you want to keep in the back of your mind.
But yeah, so a lot of choices coming up here for where to explore. You know, they can go to Howling Cliffs, Vanta's Village, Resting Grounds. So where would you go?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of start. It's always just kind of like you're starting with Green Path and Crossroads, and it's just like one person's probably going to Cliffs, one person's going to Fungal. Um, I think the way I would usually treat something like this is just whoever's finished first probably goes to Fungal.
Yeah, there's a lot there for sure.
A lot there, and it's more central. I think you want to get someone like going on that as soon as you can. Then if you find something like a City Crest or Lantern or Trampas and want to like branch out into other areas, it gives you just a lot of options for that.
Let's see, because I missed it. Did Link G visit all four shops? There we go. Marked. So yeah, so we are probably going to see this Fungal clear. They have all the items for it.
Yeah, I think what happened with Lim is she went just like
yeah,
past
missed
Leggy the
out the
first time,
bench.
didn't have enough Geo.
Yeah,
Let's see there.
very
I think
common
there
to see that.
was
And there's a white
king,
fragment.
a white fragment, yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. Jen taking a death in Overgrown Mound. I didn't really catch what put them at such low health there.
Yeah, it's easy to run down there if you get knocked by the Vengeflies and or the squids into the spikes a couple times, and
Yeah.
it can be surprisingly unforgiving for the enemy type in there. Yeah, I guess it is worth noting that in my mind they have, you know, claw dash wings, but they still actually need to, finish the early game grub collection and everything to attain that movement. So
Hmm.
we're a ways away from being able to just go completely off the rails with that.
Yeah, and especially Green Team. It looked like that was only their second grub that they saved there.
I know, yeah, just two grubs, which means a long ways away from the 9 they need in order to get wings.
Yeah, and that's always the risk you run by ignoring grubs that are on your path in the early game, is needing to go back and save them later.
Right, and that makes it such a priority for the player with the crossroads start to get all the way from that bottom right corner of crossroads to the top left as soon as possible in order
Yeah, just
to
get that info.
exactly. Because otherwise, looking at this card is tempting to say, well, if there's anything at Grubs, we can just wait until after Crystal Peak and then we'll be able to get it easily.
Hmm.
But if it's Wings at Grubs, you don't want to wait for that. You might not get the luxury of being able to wait for that.
Right.
The other hand, Claw Dash is very much sufficient for these early areas.
Yeah, but the Claw Dash
Only,
also wasn't very easy to come by. Their starting geo was pretty low. Like Lim really had to work to get enough geo to afford all of it.
yeah, you're definitely right. It's expensive, and Grubs would have helped with that too.
Right.
A mistake.
Yeah, it
So
definitely was part of Lim's geo collection there. And I'm sure we'll see Seb taking advantage of that too.
yeah, I would definitely think so.
Honestly, with so much in shops like that, I would almost be tempted to ask the Green Path partner to hurry and rush through cliffs and try to help buy some of the things at shops.
Right. Yeah. Remove some of the geo pressure from one side of the team, especially
Especially,
since this is looking to be a pretty late city. I don't know if that's what you were going to say, but
yeah, well, that's definitely true. It was along the same line. It's just like Green Path is a much better place for farming geo than Crossroads is. Things like Moss Knights and the Geo Rocks there are pretty good for early geo collection.
that's definitely true. And while they have better geo here due to the infection, actually, we saw some infected vengefly farming earlier, actually.
Hmm.
But still, that's quite slow. That's not what you want to be doing. And we are about to see this resting grounds check. So I'm very very interested in this. So I feel like that early swim makes us feel high value.
Hmm. Yeah, it's another one very similar to Grubs. You want to have that knowledge of what's at here, how much do we need to prioritize essence, especially if you know there's some in a shop or something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like this is one of those which could be very easy to justify putting off in your mind because you really want to come here when you have dive and you can do crypts and then continue to you maybe even have elevator pass to continue to city. Uh, Ideally, you might even be coming from Crystal Peak, which you have to go
Hmm.
all the way to Mound anyways. Um, but I don't know. Sometimes just upper resting grounds can be really stacked on its own.
Yeah. And always a tough call when you're going through there too, like whether or not you go pick up that dream nail check.
Yeah, such a long check, and we are going to get our second VS over here. I saw Defender's Crest in the items list. I don't know if
Yeah,
there's
and they picked
anything
that up
else.
already.
Okay, yes. So that will open up the fetch quest of Waterways. That Shade Soul is very nice QOL,
Hmm.
not on the card.
I don't think Lim has actually bought the one from Sly yet, so
Right, so that was their team's first VS, but eventually it'll let them get two pretty easily.
yeah. And it looks like now Green Team is kind of finished up with the shops too. They have their Claw Dash as well, and gonna be making their way both into Fungal a little bit here, maybe doubling up on some of these checks a little bit.
Yeah, I think that doubling on Fungal can be pretty practical sometimes because if you leave it to one person, then yeah, that person sort of has to do Mantis Village and then Deep Nest, and you're sort of committing to we're going to get to Deep Nest really late this seed because you have maybe 30 or 40 minutes. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but you have quite a bit of checks before you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Fungal really lends itself pretty easily to just one person does left side, one person does right side.
Exactly. And if you're coming from the Mantis Village side, you only have to go up to Super Secret Seal. You don't have to commit to the full Deep Nest necessarily. Uh, and yeah, actually, you sort of have to do both paths anyways because of Sports Room. So,
Hmm.
not saying that necessarily that's what we'll see, but yeah, talking about the options.
Yeah, and I actually missed it, but there was a City Storm Stag that Green Team picked up from Grubfather actually.
Yeah, I don't know what the cost of that was, but um, that will be their city access for this scene.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is very nice.
yeah, we do have Soulmaster on the card, so that's sort of a nice justification to go to Sanctum anyways. A little annoying without dive, but maybe still worth looking. You never know if you'll get vanilla.
Yeah, I'm honestly more excited for just Lem Axis in this seat, I think.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Though I'm not sure how much more geo pressure we're going to have at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's still at least a few good things in shops. We know there was the
The white
white
fragment.
fragment at Leg Eater.
Can't afford the toll bench, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, that always feels bad.
Yep. They will need to have someone who saves their money for a bit because you see that center goal by the base and fountain check.
Hmm.
Usually not a problem at all by the end of a blackout. Uh, relics tend to make that very affordable, but still something to keep in mind.
So we see Klapudo doing the early Mantis Lords fight here,
Yeah,
which I think they
a
have
lot of
Wraiths at this point,
a lot
probably a
of good spells
VS2.
for it. Yeah, level 1 spells, not too bad. And of course it gives you a bunch of items, the 3 in the vault, and then super secret seal, so yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it makes a pretty compelling reason to go into deepness right away afterwards.
Yeah. Interesting return to Dirtmouth on sub side from Rafters. Not
Yeah,
sure
I
what
think
prompted that.
they didn't have enough grubs for wings when they went to and picked up the City
Uh,
Storm Stag, so I think they're going back for that now.
and this was actually really good because they need wings to get to Right City anyways, so
Hmm.
and that's probably their priority right now. Um, get to Right City. That opens up a ton of stuff in terms of King Station, Kingdom's Edge, Basin. Can be really productive just in that corner.
Yeah, and that's another area that, without having stags to give you access to it, you kind of want to get one player into there as quickly as possible.
Ooh, a QG stag. Very valuable. Uh, we do have 2 different Alubas, so that deep QG is required.
Hmm. Yeah, and Pink Team does have Shade Soul already, so that's something they're able to do right away if they wanted to.
True, yeah. We also saw the city crest in Left City. Not going to be important today.
Green Team, they're going to pick up a C Dash in the Mantis Village rewards
Ooh,
and a Dream Nail. Wow.
yeah, so that early Mantis Swords play really paying out this time, so
Yeah. That C Dash is especially going to be helpful for the 7 grubs and peaks.
yeah. But we are still missing that dive.
Hmm.
We could see the diveless Crystal Peak entry, hoping to get a dupe or second one of the alternate copies to dive in there.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't find a dive in there, I think
I think it would be
it's a
worth
good
doing
play.
the sequence break. There's so many items here. It's a time-consuming goal to go for anyways. Of course, I was here advertising Crystal Peak, 5 minutes into the seed when we found
Right.
out we had claw and wings, but yeah, I think it's a practical thing. I also like the early Soul Sanctum, even though I know it's questionable with that dive. It's a gamble, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, I think I agree. And like once you've gotten the bosses out of the way, some of the levers are hit. Like it really isn't too bad to come back through here.
Yeah, with the bench, it's very convenient. And plus, if it's not too likely, but if the random goals really go your way, it really might be that you never have to come back, and you mark that Soul Master goal and you're done.
Yeah.
Oh, oh no, I was about to say rather Lord Tablets, but no, it's the City of Hero Lord Tablets, not the Soul Sanctum.
Yeah, at this point, honestly, most of the uh, goals on the board are going to be pretty accessible to them, especially Green Team now with the C Dash and Dream Nail. I think the only real things they're going to be locked behind are like Love Key, still missing that dive for Gomgar Pete, and I guess a few of the Pete grubs.
Yeah. We have no Abyssals on here, right? But of course, Kingsford and Grease. Probably one of the most valuable key items we're still missing.
Mm-hmm. That and Trampass it can be
Yeah,
pretty
so,
important.
and Trampass is on the card, so that,
Is
that will
required.
be required. Yeah, a bunch of random rolls along the bottom of the card. So this could really really turn into a bit of a check slog if those decide to be buried.
So interesting decision here with Genkar. Gonna go early for this Shio check. Yeah, we do see the check 2 Nail Masters is on the board.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, talking about those out of the way places, which sometimes the randomizer favors, yeah, Shio can be one of them, with its very unique item requirements. Just a Soul Totem there, though, so we'll see what the Nail Master is. Double Soul.
Not quite gonna.
Just a nail upgrade at Soul Master, so I'm safe. Chat attempting to manifest. What could have only been a Descending Dark at Desolate Dive, because it wouldn't have been vanilla.
True. When has anybody ever found a vanilla check in Hollow Knight Randomizer?
Probably
That simply
never.
wouldn't happen.
Probably never. Okay, and we're gonna see a bit of the Queen's Gardens. And, well, there's your
Okay.
Trampass. So, very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if Green Team also picked up that QG Stag.
Yeah, and it wasn't buried, it was the Left City egg, so
Yeah.
that's easy enough to go back for.
Oh wow, and there was a second dash in Crossroads at Moloch actually.
Oh, interesting.
That
So,
Klapudo just picked up.
yeah, defeat Markov, so that is going to be required. Probably not going to be too hard to track down for both teams.
Yeah.
Okay, but both teams have it.
Oh, I'm not sure if that's where
Yeah.
Pink Team picked it up too, but it's very possible.
Yeah. I don't know where Pink Team got it. So, and I also missed the GPZ check. So, I missed it twice, I think.
Oh no. Maybe we'll get another chance with it.
I was
here
about to
with
say,
one.
we're about to get one in the top, so.
Too much going on screen. And I actually also missed, where did Jen get right side city access so quickly? Do they have a King Station tag?
No, they I assume they came from Left City, but maybe
Okay.
I'm wrong.
That's possible. I guess I just felt like we got here
was-
really quickly.
Third dash was in Cliffs.
Oh, alright.
That makes sense. Cliffs is always good. Except when it isn't.
Also, I think we managed to miss the GPZ check again.
Oh well. If it's important, we'll realize when the racers start rescuing Zoden,
Yeah.
doing Coliseum and all of that. That'll be a real sign that we probably can't miss. And it's possible, but less likely. Okay, so we're getting some fungal core. Actually, yeah, Dupe Swim and the Soul Totem. Oh yeah, we're having okay. Looks like our restreamer will take care of it. We missed that Soul Master wasn't marked. Oops.
Yeah, thanks to Oat for the restreamer for this for covering that. and
Yeah,
also for doing the restream.
There's our elevator pass. That'll open up one more check. Actually, a couple checks, maybe. No, just one.
Yeah, and also give some good access into Right Side City.
Yeah, definitely. At least for the player with the Blue Lake start.
Right.
Also
That was an E
finding
key
an
from
elegant
Marv.
key.
Pretty nice. Pink team hasn't been into Sanctum yet, but finding E key like that definitely would make me want to
Incentivizes.
head over to that.
Yeah, but even then we could still see them get the bench check Shade Soul and not go into Sanctum because they want to wait for dive a little longer.
Yeah.
And this dive is really hidden. It's very interesting to me.
Okay, and we are going to see Lem entering into peak from the C-dash and like wing skip.
Yeah, I like this. Chat suggesting that maybe I was mistaken and this is an easy logic. I don't quite remember whether it's very borderline. I think it probably could be easy. So, in which case we could find the dive and lantern in Crystal Peak, which would be a very rare and cursed seed.
Yeah. Be some good content.
Yes, excellent content. Look, see, as commentators, all we can do is wish for these sorts of evil things.
Yeah.
So entertaining.
Not because we want them, because we want it for you, chat.
Yes. Plus, the more we wish for those things, the more we distract chat from vanilla relics and stuff like that.
So yeah, we are going to see Jen going in to check what Shadesol has here using that E key.
2 checks here thanks to Bastio, so... Just a relic. We're also going to see what we got out of that elevator pass in the bottom right. Yep, elegant key, not good.
All right.
So Libra's Blessing, not going to be important either.
I feel like it's too tempting to go and get those like single checks locked by a key or something.
Right. Well, you're just really hoping that, yeah, this following this fetch quest, which the other team might not do, is going to really pay out for you. And so, yeah, sometimes you get rewarded like that, but on average, I think that your density usually pays out better.
Yeah.
We saw that this seed with the Mantis Lords.
Oh, has Green Team not picked up a swim yet?
That's very surprising.
Yeah. Because I think Jen found one in Green Path pretty early on, right?
Right. Okay, so I feel... I know it's distracting from the race, but I feel obligated to answer the slander in chat and point out that, yes, as Colette is now saying, the Sanctum bench pre-bench work was not a good bench. It's just so far away from stacks, and it's expensive, and Soul Sanctum sucks anyways. Completely different world without bench work. People who grew up on bench work can't imagine it.
Yeah, that's me. I'm too much of a Rando zoomer. I don't even have any idea how I would route Rando without bench warp.
But yes, perhaps I will bring out the bench tier list in Rando General later on this evening after the race, and that way people can be educated. Okay, but I'm distracting. So we did get a lifeblood charm at Howling Wraiths. I don't know if did Jen go back for that? I wasn't paying attention.
No, I don't think they have yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully not going to be too big of a deal. They need to do the Lifeblood core room without a Lifeblood charm anyways.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's a good point. I remembered Lifeblood being on the board, but it is not a
right.
Lifeblood charm goal, so not too important.
But it doesn't really seem like Peak has been super useful for Lim yet. I haven't seen
Yeah,
anything huge come out of there.
yeah, I think you're right. Of course, still probably only about halfway through.
Yeah.
Lots of potential still, but nothing explosive early on. And one of the costs of doing peak without dive, especially on these settings, um, well, even just sort of any settings, you miss on that rancid egg, you can't do crystallized bound. It's a little painful.
Yeah.
You have to go out of your way to get back to the entrance with its rancid egg.
I was a little bit hoping we were going to see Lim Shade Soul the Blood Sack through the wall to maybe get a little bit of information on what's there. At the very least, if it's a soul refill or geo, you can cross that off.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we see Jenkar's kind of jumping around quite a bit. We've seen them in QG quite a bit, in Deepness, and now back in City.
ADGO and that chest.
But yeah, I think kind of jumping back and forth between areas like this can be really good if you're trying to just keep those like checks per minute as high as possible, but it also becomes just really easy to strand checks.
Yeah, definitely. And there's definitely something to be said in Blackout TE for being thorough, because going back for one-off checks that you decided not to do early on, that really adds up.
Yeah.
Especially, in a seed like this where there are so many random goals, is still looking for fragile terms, hidden station,
Love key.
I don't think vessel fragments will be a problem, but Goman,
I'd be surprised if it ended up being
yeah,
too hard to find.
Yeah, King's Branch for sure. But yeah, lots of stuff we need to find, and so if any one of those 5 different goals decides to be late, then you're going to eat a lot of time cost off of not being thorough early on.
Yeah.
But still, I think that there's something to be said for going to these areas which you can't fully complete, because you still get a lot of density out of Crystal Peak even with skipping a couple of the checks. And Shaman Stone is sorry, that warrants an ooh.
It definitely does. Yeah, even at 3 cost, like, you can't be mad about finding Shaman.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, is Militia on this board, or?
I don't think so. Unless I'm... Oh, it is. It's already marked. Just
Oh, okay.
row 1.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I was expecting to look for a goal that wasn't marked. I forget there's that little bit of delay.
Yeah, board reading is a difficult skill as well.
Yeah.
Certainly it's not one of my strengths.
That's unfortunate. Sev taking a death to the Great Husk Sentry.
Yeah. Yeah,
A little bit unfortunate, I guess, not going for the lever skip in there.
And not getting the bench.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's not too long of a trip to get back there.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those benches which could be borderline if you already did Love City, so you don't need a bench here. But in general, I think the 10 seconds to get it isn't too much.
Yeah. Oh, and get to see the. Actually, I'm very confused. What happened there? Why was the gate open?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe killed the Great House Country as they died.
As they
before?
died, yeah.
Yeah, that would be most likely, I think. But I wasn't paying attention to see it.
Oh, I see. They
That,
died to the wing sentry. Okay.
that makes sense, yeah.
It's pretty unfortunate, and
Yeah,
you
that's
need to
really
go like back
painful.
around like that.
You know what I find really interesting right now is not having seen too much of Basin.
Yeah, I don't think either team has gone down there.
Also haven't seen Kingdom Touch, but I think that's a little less surprising
Hmm.
with that dive.
Yeah, and I think we know Pink Team has Tram Pass. I don't think we've seen Green Team pick it up yet.
Yeah, so we could actually be seeing it now though, with Sharp Shadow Check has the option to continue that way if he chooses after this Vessel Fragment.
Well, the Tram Pass was at QG Stag, I'm pretty sure. I mean, like the pickup to use the
Right,
tram.
right. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
did
think
they
that
go
kind
there?
of gives
Yeah.
you a big reason to head down into Basin.
Yeah, the Green Team doesn't have Tram Pass, I missed that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Without Tram Pass, you might be thinking, I don't want to go down a Bright City path because that means going past the tram and not opening it and then buying the toll bench.
Right.
Yeah, there's reasons to not like doing that.
That and Basin kind of ends up feeling more like a dead end there. Like you go and it's hard to.
It's pretty sparse, you know, especially no one really likes doing Broken Vessel, especially if it ends up not being required. You feel bad about that. Yeah. Yeah, understandable. But I feel like that by the Basin Fountain check right there, I'd like to see, I'm curious what's there.
Yeah.
But none of the teams have the money for it yet, so that's probably, well, one person out of 4 has the money for it, I should say. And that one person might be about to go there. We'll see.
We've definitely seen enough relics from both teams that if they want to go for it at this point, it shouldn't be much of a problem.
Yes, I think I'm getting my wish.
I'm gonna be checking Egg Shop. There's gonna be a King's Brand there and a Dupe Wings.
Ooh.
So really, just all of this movement was in Crossroads
shops,
and Dirtmouth,
yeah.
which
Wow.
it looks like they didn't have enough eggs to get the King's Brand right away. I didn't see how many more they're gonna need for it.
That's interesting because Jen has 10 eggs, so according to inventory, so that must be a very expensive King's Brand.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure with these settings, 15 eggs is the max cost.
Also get the Dupe Crystal Heart now from Flublade. So which Fragile Charm are we missing? We have Strength, and I think we might have Heart. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll need to try to pay attention next time someone's equipping charms.
Yeah, I didn't keep track of it too well. Okay, but yeah, Jen got the tram and bailed out. Maybe thinking about doing Nailsmith check. Has some
Yeah,
money for it.
maybe hoping they can wait until they have enough eggs for King's Brand and then just go
Lord,
do Abyss
Atlas.
all at once.
Or, yeah, this can only be lore tablet. Are they gonna go for Watcher Knights?
It looks like they might be.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're now getting our basin checks on bottom left. So,
Yeah. Got little bait and switch there.
yeah. A little curious. Yeah, I think we are gonna get that Watcher Knights check here. Maybe they no, I was gonna say maybe they saw pink team go for it, but I don't, or green team go for it, but I don't think green team has gotten the coral lore tablet, so they haven't marked it yet.
Yeah, they definitely have the Watcher Knight one.
Okay, so what is at the fountain? A lantern.
Wow, okay.
So the fountain was loaded, but lantern not too important since we had access to Crystal Peak.
Yeah, still, I mean, green team,
Hasn't gone.
yeah, hasn't gone. But also, this is kind of their first trip into Deepness, so
Yeah,
having lantern is at least very nice for it.
Yeah, lantern makes Weaver Stun much more tempting. We're also getting Hidden Stations tag right there in Kingdom's Edge, so that is definitely one of our last big one-offs that we needed to find.
Yeah, getting pretty close to going to be thinking about finishing up from pink team, especially with that.
Yeah, pink team really isn't looking for much more. They need 1 of 3 dives, 1 of 2 greets.
Love key is maybe the
worst.
biggest limiter.
Yeah, love key can be anywhere, so that's a little scary. Anywhere but collector's found. Okay, and now Seth has enough money to pretty much buy anything, so gonna get that lantern.
Their lantern.
Pretty much perfect timing, I think. Klapudo's probably gonna do Tramway first, but then afterwards we'll have the option to do Dark Deep Nest.
Yeah, as far as TE, I think
we're missing a Dreamer, right?
I think we're missing a Dreamer. I think we know where one fragment is, so I guess a little bit
behind there, which is interesting. We have so much movement, but yeah, missing those key items.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely green team needs to hope to make some progress on those, but they're like out of the way here in Deep Nest, where the card really isn't forcing the runners to go. You're like a Weaver Sten or Beast Sten.
Yeah, which I do like going for them in this kind of situation. I think you can get a lot of checks really quickly there.
Yeah, they're super dense, especially with Lantern to make it fast, Arcane Egg, and Wanderer's Journal like Hollow.
Yeah, you love to see it. And I'm pretty sure there's not anything important at GPZ. I think we would have seen...
Oh, we had a DV stag at Salute.
Oh, okay.
Which we missed since we weren't paying attention in the first 30 seconds of the seed, but...
Yeah. Good thing our runners remembered it.
Yeah, so that's actually very nice. Yeah, definitely can put your whole routing in a different perspective if you know from the start that you're going to get that distant village tag. You're sort of tempted to not work towards Deep Nest because you have this option of doing Deep Nest on the left.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with Dark Rooms, I guess, since no one could have known that Lantern was going to be where it was.
Right.
But it's something you can have in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you aren't thinking about the rest of Deep Nest, even just getting to come in and do Beast Den is pretty nice.
Resting ground stack, not going to be useful because both teams have already done their long trek across Blue Lake, but
It doesn't look like Basin has been very um nothing too important there for Sev so far.
Monomon,
Okay. So that'll be the third Dreamer for Pink Team then.
yeah, so that's very good for them. Yeah, just down to what, maybe 5 items left, maybe in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm. Should be. They've picked up quite a few eggs in the past couple of minutes. Probably have enough to get that King's Brand now.
Right. Have to be thinking about where their lifeblood is for that.
Yeah. Could be such a tough thing to remember. Like the lifeless checks don't stand out very well.
Exactly. It's not something you think about. Luckily, with item sync, you do sort of have the flexibility that you don't have to do like a flower quest route here.
Right, you can ask your
Yeah,
teammate to help you out with it.
exactly. Of course, if you can do a flower quest, like if there were a lifeblood cocoon in basin, then that's really convenient. But
Hmm. Or once you have Dreamgate, which I'm pretty sure Pink Team does have Dreamgate at this point,
that's
that
true.
can trivialize it.
Yeah, and it's good in a way to not be interrupting your partner if you can avoid it.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, that sometimes teamwork can just be that much more efficient.
Especially if you keep track if there's like one of the stag checks has lifeblood or like one of the shops, those can be really easy for your
Yeah,
teammate to just kind of pause once they've gotten a bench and
yeah, just go
coordinate
by
that.
it. Yeah.
I think Seth skipped on Lostkin when they were there. I'm curious to see if Jen's gonna go ahead and do the fight right away.
Yeah, rough death for Lynchy. I think that was right outside Weaverstone. Not too bad to get back to from Distant Village. But that breakable wall has claimed many lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a good visual cue for if you've destroyed it, so it's very easy to be holding right, especially expecting to go through, and you don't go through, and then you're dead.
Yeah, it's one of those things you kind of need to really go out of your way to pick up soul ahead of time to break the wall open with the spell, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It just leave nothing up to chance.
Hmm.
If you're really careful, go into it with 3 or 4 health to have no fears of the devout, because
Yeah, but it can be pretty awkward to remember to get soul in deepness. So many of the enemies don't spawn until you've already walked past the area.
right. See a nice death warp by Jen to get out of the Luskin fight. The reward is an egg.
Egg.
Ooh, Hive Blood might be the thing to get them to push them towards Hive. Probably not. Hive is very sparse still, even at this stage.
Yeah, and there's nothing
Oh,
forcing them to go in there on with this
yeah.
board.
Finally revealing the hidden station. I guess this is long enough um, after they could have gone to Kingdom's Edge to make them feel comfortable.
Although either way,
Yeah,
green team
green
looks
has,
like just picked it up.
yeah, green team has it anyways, even though they haven't revealed it. You know, always those mind games with something like this deck where you don't have to use it at any point. Okay, so we are getting lower Kingdom's Edge from them. And Hornet 2 at the same time, so from both teams, so that's sort of curious.
Yeah, it's not something you expect to see too early on, but I guess Lim has already cleared most of upper edge, went and visited Kalos and all of that.
Yeah, it's curious.
Yeah, and we still haven't seen a dive, almost an hour into the seed.
Yeah, I do kind of feel like I prefer Hive. I like this from Jen. Yeah, I don't think Green Team has... Yeah, Green Team still doesn't have Hive access because they still haven't done QG.
Right.
Yeah, the choices are dwindling, for sure, at this stage. So... You're starting to see going into these areas which only have 2 checks like Hive. 2 is better than 1. That sort of thinking.
Yeah. And I mean, even sometimes it's... I think the routing is not necessarily always so numbers based. You kind of just want to like have an area done.
Yeah, and it can also be sort of, you know, Jen is the one on their team who has the lower tram. It will never be convenient for them to do this.
Right.
That sort of thinking. And yeah, mentally knowing that, you know, I finished Basin, I finished Lower Kingdom's Edge and Tram, I did Isma, I can write off that whole area now. That can be very nice. Also worth noting for the Abyss goal, we did see that Lifeblood Cocoon at Hidden Station stack, so that is an option to make that goal very easy. We'll see if they took note of it. Okay, there's the 3rd Dreamer for Green Team, so we will, speaking of far off, one-off checks, be interested to see what's at Black Egg.
For sure.
Not in Logic yet, since our first Dreamer was the Duke Dreamer.
Yeah, looks like that's kind of going to be all of Edge that Pink Team's able to do now. Curious to see where they're going to focus their efforts next.
Yeah, still dive blocked. Yeah, some of the interesting options. We have the Sequence Break into Black Egg, we have Trader Lord, which I don't think we've seen. Duke VS at Hive Blood.
Not a super useful place for that.
Yeah.
No, I think we might see a Glowing Moon failed champ from Lim here.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely one of those things which teams like to put off sometimes. Yeah, another one over here with Deep Nest Vessel, which we already saw on Green Team side.
Yeah, I do think I kind of like putting off that Glowing Womb until you have enough equipment to do fail champ on the same trip.
Yeah, definitely, because otherwise you'll never do fail champ. But yes, sometimes that early Glowing Womb check can pay off. You would sometimes see people do it in a very ambitious maneuver before people had boss sessions randomized.
Gonna be another Crossroads dash at Glowing Boom. Incredible.
Yep. Okay, and here is our Trader Lord play from Jen. So
Sev on
Or
1 HP here
or
at
no,
upper edge.
it's the love key play.
Ooh.
I didn't realize we hadn't seen this yet, but it sort of makes sense. Love key's not convenient if you have the stag, so. Yeah, this area seems likely to be very profitable. I think.
Yeah, something we haven't seen from either team yet.
I will register the dive at Loki's prediction. But I don't know if that's much of a prediction given how little is left. But
Right.
it's one of those things where, you know, we have no idea what the logic chain actually was with the claw dash wings, etc., all being so early.
Yeah.
It's very
The dupes being
possible.
pretty accessible too, it felt like.
Right, it's very possible to have had a dash Isma as the intended progression chain leading to the shopkeeper's key. And yeah, the logic thought, yeah, it was making something really linear. Little did it know that claw and wings were going to be so easy.
Right. Yeah, and I think they're gonna put that off a little bit. Lim is the one who saved Fly, and gonna be fighting Veil Champ before they go check what's there.
So that'll deny us our satisfaction for a minute, but you just know that we're going to have a goal or maybe a couple of goals.
Right, it's got to be something there.
Shopkeeper's key. And meanwhile, we aren't getting that Pale Lurker check. A chat favorite.
No, green team might beat us to the punch with checking shopkeeper's key.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of those routing quirks. False Knight again being or Fail Champ being such a commitment. And
of course,
either way, it's not going to save much time, but
yeah. Of course, green team's gonna have to come back and do Fail Champ at some point.
Yeah, it is on the board.
Okay, we saw another Dream Nail at.
This was their Dream Gate.
And there it is, the dive at Shopkeep's key.
Yeah, what do you know? So it was that progression chain. You know, who knows whether it was early or late, but love key location strikes again. So we'll see how many dive block dives we get this seed.
I'm expecting to see both of them.
All of them at this point with how much we've seen. Not much left. And I think really the only possibility at this point would be like Abyss, White Palace sort of stuff for where they could be.
Yeah, right. We do know that 3 Dream Nails are possible at this point.
Right, and King's Brand should be possible too, even though we haven't seen it.
And you know what? Have we seen Nailsmith yet?
That's a good question, because
I don't think we have.
We thought Jen was going to do it, but then we got the lore tablet instead. But I wasn't watching Green Team when they got the lore tablet, so it's possible they did the check then.
Yeah.
It would be really weird with all the Pale Lores we've seen.
Right.
To not have done Nailsmith at this stage. Also curious to be that Pink has been so resolute in not going to Soul Sanctum. Like I would definitely be sweating at this point, but maybe they feel confident that if there had been anything in there, Green Team would have been forced to mark it.
Right. Yeah, I think the big thing you'd be worried about is a dive there in Sanctum.
Right, and you might think, well, would Green Team have had the discipline to not mark 420 Rock for 30 minutes?
Right, and I think it's unlikely.
And that can be one of the weaknesses of doing that early Sanctum gamble is you sort of just by amount of time elapsed, you're forced to reveal that you didn't get anything.
Yeah.
You aren't delaying goals. Right, they can't hide goals, but with something like the 420 rock, you're not obligated to do that at any point. So you could choose to put that off.
Right. You can hide it by never going and doing the goal, even if it's possible for you to do it.
Oof, poor Sev with the fake dive, costing big on the way to the 420 rock.
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, you can't actually leave a dream gate in that room.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they left one outside it either.
Okay, we have a question. The mechanics of the spin geo goal.
Yeah, so that needs to be one runner has reached the threshold before you can mark the goal.
In general, I believe the only stuff which counts for both runners can contribute toward are the check goals, where it is actually impossible for one runner to do it if the other runner already did it.
Mm-hmm. That and things which are synced, like grubs and like obtaining an item.
Yeah, for sure.
So not one that I expected would be early on the list of dive block checks to do. We see Genkar fighting White Defender.
Yeah, definitely a strange one, but... And they got their Fragile Heart, which I guess was their last Fragile Charm, so...
Yes, I'm curious now, because Green should have just picked that up too. Which one are they still missing?
No, Green is still on their way, right?
I thought... Oh, I guess the Sev hasn't actually come and checked Quick Slash yet.
Yeah, because they prioritized the 420 rock.
Right, that makes sense.
And of course now we're seeing the flip.
Yeah.
With both teams in the same place. Okay, but I don't think Green has Greed. So they haven't marked it at least.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, so we're gonna see Jen finally making their way into Sanctum.
Yep, no reason not to do it now.
Right.
And of course, if Love Key is in the back of Sanctum, it's basically GG. So this could be very big for them. I think that if your green team, well, green team doesn't know it, but they're probably hoping for a White Palace Love Key just to buy them some time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of options still for what a Love Key could be, and that really is the big unknown factor here.
Even then, I think Green Team is pretty behind on Peak Scrubs, right? Have they spent any time in Peaks at all?
Not that I recall, but I admit that it's hard to follow all four screens.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they at least have gotten like CG bench or something, because that helps a lot with going in and finishing that up.
Yeah, luckily of the 4 goals that Pink has and Green doesn't, 3 of them are just check goals, or item goals. Now 5, but so they really just are behind on the CP grubs and the build champ, and that's not too much to have to make up. Meanwhile, Visit Tower of Love. Surprised that Pink doesn't have that.
Yeah, I am too. But I guess hopefully Lim has Colo bench. That shouldn't be too bad to go back for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not a lengthy goal.
But yeah, one that if you remember it, you want to go and do on your way. But again, there can be so much on your mind with these. It's just like routing that
it is
easy to make mistakes like that.
It could be one of those things where if Pink did Kingdom's Edge first, then they didn't see it on the... there's our second Creed in Soul Sanctum.
Yeah, and I think that actually was the last fragment they needed to complete a Soul Vessel, which Green actually hasn't done yet. I'm surprised.
So it needs to be good, right? very scary fight. Easy for it to go wrong very quickly. What I was gonna say is, but this was a little bit ago, but I was gonna say that if, like, you're the first person to go through Kingdom's Edge and you didn't see the Tower of Love goal, then the second person goes through and marks it, it could be a real mental blow to realize, you know, I overlooked this goal.
Yeah. And it never feels good to see that you walked right by it without doing it.
Right. And your opponent didn't by the proxy of having marked the goal.
Right.
Okay, but this can sort of be the double edge of going to Sanctum with more items is, you know, they're sort of obligated to do this soul timer check. You know, unlikely that green team will be able to resist the urge to do Soul Sanctum, but if they do, this is, you know, one of those ways you can save time.
Yeah, we see Lim is making her way into White Palace now.
Yeah, very curious what this cost of Kingsbrand was, because I feel like that's such an obvious next play.
Yeah, well, Pink Team does have it. I saw it in their inventory just a bit ago.
That's even more surprising. But maybe Jen has already claimed Abyss, or maybe
Yeah.
she is more confident with White Palace, that sort of thing. But I would feel like Abyss would be a very high priority right now. I feel like it's very likely to have Love Key, anecdotally. Not based off of anything concrete. And actually, no, we're getting more waterways. Junk Pit checks.
Which actually, I do think this is a pretty good play.
Yeah, and Junk Pit is best density in the game left by far. I think. But yeah, not gonna see that Abyss.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation here. I guess with only having one white fragment, maybe you're...
You know what another thing is? Is, like, if Pink is feeling ahead, then they can sort of, you know, sit comfortably and say, you know, if Green finds Love Key and Abyss, it's going to be really obvious because Green is going to mark Enter the Lifeblood Core Room.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
And maybe even both teams are thinking that. You know, not necessarily are metagaming that hard, but it is a valid perspective to have. You know, make the other team do my checks for me.
Yeah.
In a format with no goal hiding.
Yeah, on the other hand, I think just knowing that you also still need 2 white fragments, maybe you're kind of just expecting that this round is going to go pretty long, and that you're not going to be able to avoid White Palace.
I had really forgotten that we were still so far behind on True End, but you're absolutely right. We are way too early to be go voting with the state of our white fragments.
Which I feel like it's surprising. Like, they had a lot of pickups very early, but these last few random obtains have been very elusive.
Yes, and a surprisingly bad jump pit, so we are going to finally get our Abyss check. Notably, not going in with the Lifeblood Hearts sort of gives the impression that might be thinking about concealing Love Key if they find it here.
Could be that. Maybe, yeah, I think setting the Dream Gate here makes a lot of sense. I think this probably ends up being faster than coming all the way from Hidden Station.
There's Lifeblood at Hidden Station. It's not faster.
I think
a Dream Gate versus just C-dashing out of Hidden Station.
I don't know, it's definitely close.
It's close. It might be faster. I don't want to believe though. Maybe they had just sort of memorized the green path Lifeblood early on and forgot about Hidden Station.
Yeah. That's often how I like to treat that goal is
Yeah, the
kind of
first.
first convenient lifeblood. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Klapudo's going to be playing catch up here now in Crystal Peak, getting all these grubs.
Right, but this is good. This is absolutely required. And if Jen does find Love Key here, so soon after marking Lifeblood Core, then that can really help Green Team by letting them know where to focus their efforts.
Yeah.
I would definitely hope that they have set up abandoned waterways at that point and prioritize this, even with missing Druid requirements. But no Love Key, not that easily, though. Also, apparently they didn't have either strength yet, so they were really struggling with the rental charms.
Okay, wow. Yeah, actually that makes sense. Jen did go into waterways pretty early, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we ended up seeing also there were two fragile, I think a greed and a heart dive locked in Sanctum.
Right. So I
Not
don't
the
remember where the non-dive locked greed was, but that is definitely the only thing Green Team is missing.
Oh, and speaking of I just spotted a King Soul at Divine. Wasn't sure
Which one?
which one. Probably Heart. I think that was the first one they were able to buy.
Yes, but very good. Possibly something which is not on Pink Team's radar.
Yeah.
So this could be a real advantage for Green Team just doing these checks you might not think of.
Yeah, which I'm
Nothing
actually
at strength though, so
okay. I don't think we've seen Grimchild from either team, and I'm not even sure if Pink Team has lit the lantern.
ooh, that's an interesting thought.
It's definitely something they could do at any time, but this far into the rando, I feel like you almost want to just wait for Grimchild. Like it can't be too far off.
Yeah, and you could have one of those super cursed seeds where it's like Grimchild at Grimchild and then Lovekey at Grim.
Right.
Which, if you like content, wish for that because that could be a last location at this point for both teams. Because Grim is just so far off the radar if Grimchild doesn't show up. Let's see, what other curse stuff do we not have? I don't think we've seen archives.
I don't think so. I still don't think we've seen Nailsmith, which is surprising.
Yeah.
Both teams have got to be getting close to having all 6 Palar, I'd imagine.
You would think so. Yep, meanwhile, we got Jen doing this Nosk check, sort of giving Green Team a window to capitalize on some of the obscure stuff they did earlier on. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Bad Magic pointing out that, yes, Grim was actually summoned on
by
Green Team side, so yeah, I was...
I mean, we can slightly alter it. Maybe we have a Grimchild at Unbreakable Greed.
Yeah, and that would give the same effect. And actually, here, I guess I cursed archives into existence, so my bad.
It had to happen at some point.
A curious route to get here. I almost never come to Fog Canyon this way. I always do the Crossroads route, but
Yeah, especially
it
with maps not randomized.
right, and yeah, the Soul Totem forces you to almost go that way anyways. You have to backtrack if you come this way. But
But I guess for
it
Gen, it
all
does make sense. They don't
right.
have any crossroad benches, don't have leg eater.
That's not dive locked. Our team's just forgot Fog Canyon exists.
Yeah, even with a super early Ismas and Claw, it could have been,
Yeah, this could have been like a 10-minute dive.
yeah.
Just lifeblood at Path of Pain. So,
Unfortunate.
yeah, unfortunate for them, but the seed continues a little longer.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what they previewed at the end of White Palace, but considering they chose to do all of Path of Pain first, I'm guessing it's not anything too important.
Yeah, yeah, surely not. Since if it were one item, you would hope that the Soul Totem right there is another. And you
Hmm.
could It is interesting to note, I guess, that Gen's Abyss was a little limited because of not having that King Soul. That was something I didn't really think of, but
Yeah, they left their Dream Gate there.
right.
We'll see how if they're able to keep it there, like until they get the next fragment. But
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what is at Birthplace from our team that has the King Soul.
not going to be anything in archives.
Oh, you can't dive that. Ah, you can dive it.
There is a die. It's a little tight to get it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you can also do an inventory drop there, like on some older patches. But
Right, I've seen the inventory drop, but I never got comfortable with the timing. In practice, I always just hit the spikes a couple times and eventually get it.
mhm.
Just really just a flawless everything. Yeah, interesting to see this elevator pass check, which we saw so long ago from Green,
Yeah.
slowly equalizing between the two teams.
I mean, you say that, but there is still like all of White Palace. That if Green Team ends up not going in there, they're gonna be a pretty good like time advantage from them.
Yeah, White Palace can catch them back up by not doing that and doing. Yeah, and if it is Birthplace, and Birthplace could be enough for them. Who knows where the fourth White Fragment is, but
Hmm.
Birthplace's White Fragment Love Key, yeah, that could be GG. Have we not seen Palm Relic? Surely not. We have the movement. 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm really not sure where Jen's heading to actually. Maybe Elder Who?
Yeah, maybe Elder Who, maybe the City Crest Soul Totem.
Yeah.
We should have seen that too. It must be Elder Who.
Yeah, I'm thinking Lim just did 0. Maybe a
Yeah,
good reminder to go check the other
Bobber.
Dream Warriors.
Yeah, that's fair. And with how late, relatively speaking, Dream Nail was, also Crips. Yeah, talking
Yeah.
about not on our radar. Flower Quest Love Key.
Yeah, I think finding a late dive is one of the hardest things to remember all of those checks you need to go back for.
Yes, definitely. I have been victim to forgetting Crips very hard. Fast faster.
That's very unfortunate.
But a huge up. It's Elder Hill. It must be. No.
Oh, gonna be a King Soul there. Okay. We now know where 3 of the 4 fragments are.
There's Void Heart. So
Okay. And Love Key.
Crypts was stacked. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's immediate go mode for pink team there.
Oh, rip our birthplace streams. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Teams forgot Crypts. Forgot Crypts so hard as to do a full White Palace Path of Pain.
Right.
And not criticizing that play because the density is great at this stage, but yeah, like you said, late dive just really is difficult to route around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's so many, like, 2-3 item locations, just like scattered around the map. Like, it's hard to remember all of them to go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with the love keeping where it's at, that's not really going to give green team anything to go off of to try to read it.
Right. At that point, there was just it had been so long since any goals were marked.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere. And the good news for green team is that when they do crypts, they're in go mode because well, no, not quite. They still need greed, but
greed, yeah, which
get greed here.
Yeah.
On the left side, so that's not a problem. When they do crypts, they'll get their 3rd light fragment and left key. They don't need to do Elder Hill. But it's just a matter of how long it takes to remember that, and it could be very long.
Oh, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah.
Pretty sure Lim did go back to check that with Claw early on. But...
Surprised they didn't have the bench. Or one of them didn't have it.
Yeah, right. When you walk right past. But...
Yeah, it just seems like weird grabbing to have someone have to go back and take them. But sometimes you think I have all the items to do mount in one go, and then an hour later you realize, how did I not check Soulcatcher when I was there?
Right.
Yeah, those sorts of slip-ups happen, and you have to be able to handle them. Yeah, it's not going to be lucky at Soulcatcher, but it could have been a light fragment for sure. Based off of the other team's pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you expect them to skip Tyrant that late into the match.
Yeah. Resting things.
I see them.
Enough soul to do a dive. So they're not going to finish too much later, I don't think. We're going to get greed on the left pretty soon.
Yeah, especially since Sev's already done the geo chest, I think. Didn't Sev already do this? Yeah, they did.
But it does seem like when she finished the climb, pink team is going to take this and advance to the next round in the comeback bracket. So.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is going to be the end of the bracket there for green team. So this being the second loss.
Yeah, a little tough to have to go right back into your second match so soon after the first one. But this is
Mm-hmm.
a fast-paced tournament, trying to make it less of a avoid the 6-week slog, which past tournaments have sort of fallen into, where people are just asking when will it end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely big GGs to our pink team.
Yeah, and so it sounds like in the chat, Green Team might be go ahead and just ending here, not quite going to finish it out. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure if they actually knew where Kingsbrand was. They may not have actually checked Egg Shop.
Interesting, and that could have, that could have been really devastating.
Yeah, I could have kept them going for quite a bit longer, especially as we see the Awoke Dream Nail.
Opening up White Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, very understandable. Hello, and GG.
Hi, GG.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi,
man.
everyone.
GG.
Wait, which goal are we missing right now? We're missing Kingsbrand.
Yes. So Kingsbrand was at Egg Shop for, I'm not sure how many eggs, but quite a few.
15.
15.
I thought you said there is nothing at Egg Shop.
Oh no.
Ah.
To be fair, I think I picked up Void Heart right after Limchi finished.
Yeah,
So-
you picked up Void Heart probably maybe a minute or two after I did. It was just so funny that Void Heart and Love Key were like literally right next to each other. That was incredible.
Yeah.
So actually, the two teams got a different third fragment.
Really?
Yeah.
What was this fourth one?
Pink team got Elder Who. Green team got Unbreakable Greed. Or not Unbreakable Greed. It was harder.
Unbreakable Heart.
Wait.
Oh, really? I never checked Heart. Yeah, because I went straight to do White Palace.
Oh, was anything in Palace?
No.
Oh, good.
No, there was absolutely nothing there. There was a Soul Totem.
Oh.
Yeah, we
Yeah, that's pretty
almost
cool.
full cleared the scene.
Yeah.
There was
No.
not that much left after the crits.
Yeah.
Did you check Nailsmith?
Yep.
Yes.
Was anything there?
Nothing at all.
Ooh, we got lucky.
Asking where I put off Sanctum for Song. Well, we put off Sanctum for Song. Just without Dive, it's Pain, and also we were pretty sure that Dive was not there because Green Team didn't do the Dive goals at all for like ages.
Yeah,
So we were like, I mean, we could do Sanctum, but there's nothing going to be there, and it's just going to be. I mean, there could have been white fragments, but I think it was a good play. Once we had Green Gate, that was less applicable, but we had lots to do.
Yeah, so both teams got their first dive off of Love Key. I'm curious. Did at any
No,
point...
we didn't get it off Love Key. We got.
Oh, you didn't?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It was shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Key
got
was
Shopkeeper's Key.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was like
it
it
was
was.
the Love Key to Sly Key. So you're right.
Mm.
Wrong key.
Yep. What I meant to say is, did at any point you think of Right Fog Canyon during the early game?
Yeah.
That movement.
Yeah, so I was thinking of Right Fog Canyon, and was like, that's on Lim. She has negative bench, and at some point Lim was doing a bunch of stuff, and was like, okay, I'm going to go there, and I was very sad when I saw the time.
So that early game was such madness with all of the movement showing up. It's really understandable.
Yeah,
that was
also
interesting.
It's also something we don't really usually do without having dive beforehand to go through that egg section. So you do not think about doing it, but yeah.
Yeah, so that second dive at the Charm Notch in Fog Canyon.
Oh, yeah, no, not doing. I don't think we ever went to Fog Canyon to that area. I died to Radiance.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Whoops. And this one was not overcharged.
Radiance was mean to me this seed, actually.
Radiance was godlike to me. She went for a laser attack on platform flame. She went from laser attack to spikes, and then just went up. I think that's some
Wow.
of the fastest thing you can get.
My Radiance immediately teleported away, not even attacking on the first platform.
Oh, that's rough.
Brick sent me a message of chat when I was struggling to C-dash in White Palace, and it's very funny.
Speaking of your White Palace limb, people were a little bit curious. I think they might have seen a Trogo attempt, perhaps.
I went there and I was like, I'm gonna shriek and then leave.
You streak and leave. I respect you giving the content to chat. Thank you for not going for it, actually.
No, I didn't want to get us disqualified.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually major glitched because I died when I died to Lost Skin. I had my inventory open, so I guess we're disqualified. Sorry then.
Whoa. SMA.
Yay! No.
That was a good race though. That was fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
that was pretty fun.
This was fun at the beginning. I think it was close, and then I just look over. Oh, they have 6 checks ahead.
Yeah, I think the big thing was the Crystal Beat Grubs.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I really want to do peaks early because I want the grubs, and I also just like, there's a lot of stuff there. And then the moment we got C-Dash, I was like, okay, yeah, then I do have access to it, and it's a little bit obscure. Like, not many people tend to think of it, so I thought it might be a good idea.
I like peaks. The thing is, I had no access to Crossroads. I did peaks, and
Ah,
I went to peaks via Martu, because Martu was my closest bench.
from where?
From Martu bench in Cliffs, I went to peaks.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
That's not that
that's
bad if you do have
fine.
C-Dash though, because you can
Yeah.
C-Dash
Yeah,
across.
but it's still very annoying. Because I had to take the detour to get Gome entry.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
some issues on the other hand. Well, not near the hand, near the middle, about like where to go to, because there was a lot that I had available, and Lim was starting to be a bit restricted.
Yeah.
But getting an E-Pass allowed them to go to Edge.
Yeah, I think we saw Jen during that mid game. You were jumping around a lot. You were in QG for a little bit, then in Right Side City, then in Deepness, and then back to City.
I had pretty logical progression chains, but Jen was kind of everywhere and nowhere.
I was quantum hopping between the possibilities. Yeah, it was really hard to decide on one thing to do before others. And none of them were dives.
Yeah.
What was the third dive out of curiosity?
I don't think we saw it. Or did we?
Did you find a
I
second
don't think we
dive?
did. Yeah,
Okay,
the-
so the
we
last I just looked at the spoiler log. The last dive was at Arcane Egg Birthplace.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Where was the second dive?
Fog Canyon Charm Notch.
Oh yeah, we didn't check. Okay, yeah.
Arcane Birthplace once again proving to be something.
Yeah. Yeah, we were
Also-
hoping for the fragment love key combo in Birthplace, but then it wasn't Grips.
Also, I gotta say, the double movement at shops is very painful.
Yeah.
Especially, because it was Dash, VS, and Claw were all at shops.
Plus
And
Wings at Grubs. Yeah.
yeah, and Wings at Grubs.
Yeah,
Wings
that
at
early
Grubs
game
was
geo
fine.
was very restrictive.
Yeah. I didn't end up actually going to Lem at any point, but I was during the early game very much grinding for Geo via Grubs. And also just having Infected Crossroads really helps.
I find Infected Crossroads at the beginning very annoying if you have nothing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really funny.
The instant.
I just
What a great Grosmother drop.
Lim
Crossmother.
several times was like, I'm on 1 HP, okay, I'm fine. I'm on 1 HP, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah. I had something similar in my ears the entire time. Did you die often,
Pretty
or
funny.
did you die at all?
I don't remember. I died once, I think.
Oh, I died once too. I died after Overgrown Mound. So I did Overgrown
Oh.
Mound. Was on 1 HP because I got bonked by a squid like after just before the pickup and couldn't heal. And then I fat fingered and fell into the spikes.
Yeah, I died once
Okay.
and I took 171 hits.
I think I
Oh.
took 191. But also died
Yo.
twice. Once raided and to Nosk, and Nosk pickup was not worth it.
Yeah, I did Nosk too.
Yeah,
We
but
were really looking for things.
yeah, so I think I also still missing one thing in deepness, cause usually I leave deepness to Seth. I hate deepness. I'm not good at deepness. Don't know
We
everything.
both did a bit of deepness actually. I did the light bit and they did the dark one.
Also, you did that. It was damn. They found lantern. They did Guardian. Oh, it's
Galleon
all
without
good.
lantern. It's
Yeah. Nope.
that bit of dark. I mean, dark deepness is okay. That bit of dark deepness in particular is pretty fine from Veltron way bench.
I can do the only part I can do dark is the one you do in any in all skills, and there's one check there, and that I wouldn't find in dark.
I think, yeah, because I did the base den because I found DV Stag, and then literally Jen found Lantern when I was exiting base den, so I was like, alright, off we go.
I don't think we found the stag. I just went all the way through deepness because I have nothing to do.
DV was that Celebra.
Celebra, yeah.
Once we were
Oh,
past the geolock at the start, it was fine.
yeah, that is. Who needs stags? Okay, we needed one stag for a go, but who needs stags?
Yeah, in station. Honestly, the randoms were mostly accessible. It was just the time.
It took us ages to obtain an extra soul vessel. I think we got
Yeah, we saw that. We were a little bit confused, but like, okay, we have one soul vessel, and then we got a second full soul vessel, and
Yeah,
we were like,
we had one. I was like, how do they have that? What are we missing? That's yeah, we were missing Lifeblood Core. Oh, that was a good race.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a little bit tricky, like the seed was a little bit tricky, but it was really fun.
I think that this start was tricky. I think after that everything was fine.
Yeah, the start was definitely tricky.
Yeah, but thanks again to all of our runners. GG is very well played from everyone.
GG.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and send the raid on over to Sky Zoomer, doing some any percent runs, de-rust. But yeah, make sure to follow the channel if you're interested in more Rando races. There's gonna be a whole lot more in the next few days. I think we have 2 more that are going to be restreamed tomorrow, at least 1 more restreamed on Tuesday, possibly more, and definitely more throughout the week. Yeah, thanks again for stopping by, everyone.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.